Miles Morales is coming to the MCU, but maybe not in the way that we expected, because it is now being reported by thathashtagshow.com, the website. This is their exclusive report. They have learned from their sources that Miles Morales is coming to the MCU, but he's also going to coexist in a separate universe, which is... let's explain it. So basically they're saying that we're going to be having two separate Spider-Man franchises going forward. They're going to continue with Tom Holland Spider Man after Spider-Man No Way Home. They're going to start up a new trilogy following Peter in his college years. And then we're going to be getting a separate trilogy from Sony about Miles Morales. And this, of course, would be live action as opposed to the animated Spider-Verse movies. But the thing here, though, is that they're going to be separate things. So Miles Morales is going to be part of the MCU, but then he's also going to be connected to the other Sony franchises. And then it was also said that that Marvel wants him in the Young Avengers team, which would be awesome to see. So that's pretty cool. But let's talk about how this would happen, because when they say separate universes, I don't think it means actual literal separate universes. I mean, that would actually be a pretty cool idea if they did, like, you have one Spider-Man franchise with Peter Parker on Earth 1 or whatever we are in the number 1 MCU universe, and then you have a separate Spider-Man franchise with Miles Morales in a separate universe, because then you could technically reuse Spider-Man villains and other Spider-Man characters and just have different versions for each franchise. So that would be a pretty cool idea. But I think what they're talking about here is just that they're going to have just two separate Spider-Man franchises that will coexist in this one universe of the MCU. But the Miles Morales stuff is going to connect more to the Sony stuff. So I don't know how to feel about this, because then this means that we'll see Spider-Man versus Venom at some point, but it would more likely be Miles Morales Spider-Man versus Venom, which I'd much rather see Peter Parker Spider-Man versus Venom. I mean, both would be cool. But then that also means that movies like Spider-Woman and Madam Web and the Kraven the Hunter solo movie, as well as Morbius, would be connected to the Miles Morales franchise and would still be taking place technically in the MCU, but most likely would not actually cross over with Peter and the rest of the MCU. So it's kind of confusing to think about and to talk about, but at the same time, it also makes sense. But I'd also rather they just made it one singular universe where we could see Tom Holland Spider Man go up against Venom and that Kraven the Hunter and Morbius and all these different characters. And then you still have Miles going along doing his own thing as well. But then one of the problems that brings up for me personally is that then Miles Morales would use up the Spider-Man characters, because that's something I don't like about what they've done on the CW, like how they had a Supergirl show and now they have a Superman TV show as well, but they used up all the good Superman villains on Supergirl. So I don't want them to do that here, where they use up a bunch of really good Spider-Man villains in the Miles Morales movies that I really want to see go up against Peter Parker, and then we never get that because they went up against Miles Morales. So just my thoughts on this, but it does make sense because Miles Morales is such a popular character. We did technically get set up for him in Spider-Man Homecoming with his uncle, Aaron Davis, name dropping him or saying that his nephew and everything. So it makes sense, and I'd definitely love to see a live-action Miles Morales in the MCU, and if he joined the Young Avengers, that'd be pretty cool as well. So, guys, of course, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about all this? So, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video.